What are the advantages and disadvantages of using a Newtonian telescope like this one for deep sky astrophotography? Welcome to the first part of answering your questions about astrophotography. So there are a lot of advantages and disadvantages of using these Newtonian telescopes for astrophotography. So a big advantage is definitely the price. So when looking at different online shops, you will quickly realize that these Newtonian telescopes are definitely quite affordable. For sure, there are also high-end telescopes, but usually these telescopes are more affordable compared to these refractor telescopes. That's the first one. Another advantage is for sure the aperture. So when planning to capture smaller deep scale objects, you'll need a lot of aperture, which means the diameter of the optical component. And this telescope, for example, has a diameter of 150 millimeters, and it only costs around $400. So on the other side, I do also have a refractor telescope, which has an aperture of 55 millimeters, and I paid more than $1,000 for that one. So there's definitely a big difference when it comes to the aperture. So for sure, there are also refractor telescopes with bigger aperture, but then these telescopes are becoming very, very expensive. On the other side, there are also disadvantages of using these telescopes for astrophotography, and the first one is about how heavy these telescopes are. So these Newtonian telescopes are usually quite heavy because they do have a bigger diameter, and that might be challenging here and there. So first of all, if it's windy, that might become a problem, and generally speaking, you'll need a bigger mount for tracking a telescope like this one. So that's very important to mention that. Another aspect is for sure collimation. So we do have a mirror right here at the back, another one in the front, and for sure you have to collimate the mirrors of this telescope every time you plan to capture deep scale objects. At least you have to check the collimation. That is something that is not a problem for me, but it seems like some people do not want to collimate their telescope, which is an aspect that I can totally understand, but for me it's definitely not a problem. Another aspect is that dust might get in the telescope, but you can clean the mirrors of this telescope quite easily as well. So these are aspects that are not that important for me. So in my opinion, these telescopes are great for astrophotography, but sometimes these telescopes are a bit too heavy for me. That's why I'm sometimes using my more portable refractor telescopes. So if you have a question about astrophotography, feel free to ask me down below in the comments, and then I'm answering your question in one of the next videos.